lot of the people that try to stay relevant do stupid shit.
They do.
Because that's all they have. They just want to be the next exciting thing again and again and again. And that really tears you down as a person, and you're no longer yourself. You're now whatever corporate machine you have to, be a part of to keep on going.
It's gross.
Yes. And he found that out. And then that's when he started reconciling not only with his wife, well, actually it was his girlfriend, and then she became his wife after that.
Nice.
And then that's when he made the song Happy for Despicable Me.
Oh my God, that was for Despicable Me?
You didn't know that? Yeah. It was Despicable Me.
Probably one.
Yeah, it was one.
Yeah, one or two. Yeah.
No, it was one. It was one. He did the whole soundtrack, or he did most of the soundtrack for the first and second one. There were some really good songs on the soundtracks. Yeah. So
interesting. So before we move on and we get into like Happy and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's to point out, and this isn't just a neurodivergent thing, is that we talked about it with the podcast that released a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Han Ren. And when you start to lose yourself in the corporate and capitalism, it takes over because you want to make money, you want to stay relevant, popular, famous. And boy, when you got too many hands in the pot, they call it, right? The metaphor, right? Too many hands in there cooking in the kitchen and all that shit. It's crowded. You get confused, you get overwhelmed, overstimulated. You start to lose your identity. You're starting to mask and to assimilate, to acculturate into things, and you give up your soul to be acceptable, to fit in, to be agreeable, to be a cookie cutter thing in which could be seen in the news, the radio, the media, friends, for dating, for Tinder, right? For interviews, right? You start to hide all the divergence. You start to hide all your magicalness, your spark, your creativity. And the world forces you to hide those things because, what he's talking about. So I think it's just interesting on how you can apply it to our lives day to day. Is when you start getting input and you're consulting like, oh, what should I do for this? Or how should I dress? How should I look? What do you want to do for like the eating or your diet or your body? How should I show for these interviews? I have people that ask, like, they'll ask me 100 people about their resume, their personal statements, or this or that to get jobs, graduate school and all that. I said, kid, you asked too many kids. When is it you? Have you lost your voice in this? There's a funny, stupid TV show called The League about fantasy football. And there's this one guy, he goes around asking everyone about his lineups, to which lineup to start. And they're like, you fucking slut. He just asking everyone. And it makes me think of that. When you ask too many people now, man, now it's not even you. And it's hard not to do that. I feel like it's a slow progression when you start to give up your soul. And we see a lot of content creators be miserable as fuck. I see a lot of content creators like, hey man, I just want to talk about like cool stuff, fun stuff. But whenever they don't talk about autism or whatever that specific thing is, Spence, they get no likes, no feed. And so now they're addicted to the machine. They can only say what the algorithm wants them to say, and they end up losing themselves. And a lot of my homies that I know on the internet, a lot of people that we've interviewed are pretty depressed because they're trying to hustle that money. God bless them. But they're hustling that money, they end up hustling themselves.
Right.
And it's sad. So I want to talk about that, content creation, us, life, school, right? Teachers are telling you this, and you're like, come on, man. Just interesting. FYI, this scene, then we can move it to the next. Shout out to motherfuckers getting their money and putting their soul into things and just betting on themselves. You need a lot of luck to get put in front of Jay-Z one day and all of a sudden he's like, holy shit, this is the beat. Yeah. Shout out to people that don't quit and they will die on that hill. I'm sure many people end up dying on that hill, but I'm sure a couple people climb to the top. If those of you that are creatives that are out there hustling, drawing, creating, writing, do your thing. Maybe you're one of the first kids to get your degree in your family, a PhD, doctorate, maybe just graduate fucking high school, like means trade school. Do it. Bet on you. Please. Let's get into this last scene. Let's talk about this emotional ass song, Happy, because that shit saved some lives, dude.
Yeah. So the origin of the song was studio that does Minions, Illumination. They wanted him to do the soundtrack for it, and he kept trying to give them songs over and over again. They kept rejecting his songs because they didn't like him. It wasn't catchy enough for him. They just didn't want him. And one day he was just bathing like his son Rocket, which I thought was interesting, especially since he actually has a Lego set with a rocket and stuff, and he loves outer space.
Oh yeah, isn't that his own Lego set? Like they made that for him, didn't Lego? Yeah.
Yeah, that's his own thing.
Yeah,
which is it's pretty dope Lego set too. But yeah, so he was just like bathing his son, and then all of a sudden it just popped in his head what he wanted to do, and then it was all from there. He just made Happy. I think a lot of people dislike the song because it played a lot on the radio. Played a lot. Like everybody was playing that shit when it came out. And I feel like people just got so annoyed with it, but it was just such a great song to just vibe to and just chill and just relax and actually think about something that's just not negative. And just not in your face. It's just right there. And with him, the song, like he even talks about how he knew that, yeah, it was getting people happy, but he also knew why, because people have gone a lot of shit. A lot of people who love the song have gone through a lot of things, and it's helped them through really tough times. And I have to give a lot of credit to him for making that song. And even though, yes, it was a hit, even if it wasn't, I think like that's one of those songs where it's always going to be in your head because it's just so great.
Game changer.
But game changer of a song. And it's for a soundtrack of Despicable Me. If you haven't heard the Despicable Me soundtracks for at least 1 and 2, not sure about 3, but 1 and 2, like dude goes hard on a lot of songs on there, and check them out because they're pretty fucking good.
There you go. I think I remember being in school, man, and just hearing it on the radio, and it just changed my mood every day going into school in college. Like it just changes your mood going into the gym. You just kind of want to jig. You just kind of want to dance. You know, you got a little pop in your step when you hear it. And it's awesome, man. Like the music sometimes, that shit be like so grungy and so dark and so sad. And then you hear this shit and you're like, yeah, maybe I don't want to fucking die today. Like maybe, I can live.
Not today, son. Not today.
Not today, BB Jesus. Who the fuck is BB Jesus?
BB Jesus. That's a ghetto version of Baby Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus. Boy, you black as hell.
Give me that BB Jesus shirt right now.
That BB King Jesus.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I hope Burger King hears about this and they're just like, marketing.
Copyright.
We got this. Can we copyright the Bible? I think it's fine.
I know, it's fine. Yeah, so that song, man, I'm telling you, college was hard times. Dad's going through shit. I'm going through shit. And it's just nice to get something to wrap you in this warm bubble and to give you some soul. Shout out to creators like him, my guy, the different neurodivergent black folk, man, just giving people soul. And so Spence, we see that where he starts to cry on Oprah when he talks about it, when they're showing all the people dancing.
Yeah.
I think that's a moment when you realize, your music is more than what you just hear and the money that's coming in, because you're getting paid. But now you see the joy it's bringing around the world, all these countries jigging and have fun. And it's like, brother, that was an emotional moment for him. I love that we got to see that in a Lego set version. Magnificent. And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of folks, Spence, that go into like helping professions. They go into the teaching, healthcare, therapists. And they give them back to these communities, and they see them affecting souls, and they feel so good. Especially people that have been like horribly depressed, suicidal, right? People like me that have been outcasted. I'm a piece of shit, weird, autistic, not knowing it. And like, you'll never make it. And even to this day, my boss says, you'll never make it. You're not administrator, not smart enough, not professional enough. And like, it's like, shut up. And then you start changing these souls, and it fucks you up, man. In the most magnificent way, you cry happy tears. And that's what we saw on Oprah, happy tears. I'm glad that he got that. And I'm hoping that a lot of you get that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will be like, man, I don't know if I'm a good person or this or that. And then we keep talking, and we hear the lives that they've changed and or saved just by being like friends with like certain people. I'm like, brother, I think you've already changed a couple worlds just by being, and that's when everyone tanks. Everyone starts sobbing in that moment. I was like, people think that they're worthless.
Yeah.
But I'm like, go talk to your friends. And then they tell them how much worth they have. And then they bring it to me, and I'm like, dude, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I don't think you really understand. He's like, that's not that big of a deal. I said, this will stop someone from wanting to die. Do you understand that? And everyone freaks out because they don't think about it like that. But a good friendship will make you want to live. A good partner like your girlie makes you excited and joyful, and you plan things. It makes you build a future.
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell's music did that. I feel like a lot of you people will do that, whatever creative thing that you're doing.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Check out the full episode on our channel and anywhere you find podcasts. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Whoop whoop.